Hello and welcome to another week of Talking Baseball with Pop and Scott. Uh, I do want to give a quick shout out. It seems like we're getting a few more viewers weekly here now, getting playoff time, and a couple of kind words this past week. And this made my week. I hope it made it in a good way for you. I don't know even if we were funny, we're just two guys that don't claim we know anything about the sport. We just love the sport and love talking about it. And we love talking about other sports and other things as well, which slips in here as well.
Well, we just enjoy it.
Right. So
I hate to say it, but sometimes I'm sitting there watching a ball game, and apparently I do know more than some of the people that are playing.
Well, you've seen a lot of games. 80, going on 80 years. You've seen a little bit.
I'm 79, going on 80, and I've been watching them on TV since 1954 when we got a television. So, and I've been to plenty of games. I coached it and everything else. So, I mean, I know the game. I just don't understand the players' thinking sometimes and the manager's thinking.
You and Bruce Bochy are about the same age. I think you move better than him.
Yeah, he's got two artificial hips, so he can move better. And plus the fact he's better looking. So,
but yeah, so
when we get to the standings and everything, I've got a team in each league that I'm rooting for to get to the World Series.
Okay.
I just thought that's a teaser to make everybody stick around.
Yeah, the old teaser. He used to talk. He used to have his own radio show.
I had my own radio show for 5 years. I did it on Saturday morning from 9 to 12, and I used to use teasers. And I'd have a call-in show. And what's that you said about the Yankees pitching?
Yeah. So, how has your week been?
Oh, it's amazing. The week before. A week ago Thursday, we had new gutters put on the house. We'd had about 47 inches of rain or something like that in July, and since we put the gutters on, it hadn't rained. So
it's hot now, boy.
Yeah, it's today's gonna be the hottest day of the week, 94, and then it's supposed to cool off for the rest of the week. But it is what it is. I mean, people at church were complaining about it this morning. I said it's summer. I mean,
it's August still. We got spoiled. We had a little bit of nice weather a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I told him. I told one guy, he's a friend of mine. He came up and I said, "Yeah, you're the same guy that last February was complaining about the cold. So I mean, give me a break."
Yeah. So at least they're getting games done now. A couple of weeks ago there was a lot of rainouts and pushbacks and playing late at night, and double headers. So. That's a good thing for that. Here we are in what do we got? 5 weeks left, 6 weeks left. I know.
Well, I can give you an idea of how much time we got left. The Tigers, they're on a road trip right now, playing White Sox in Minnesota. When they go back home, they'll have 6 games against 3 against the Astros and 3 against Kansas City, and then they'll have a 6-game road trip with KC and the A's. So they've got about 13 games left, 14 games left.
Okay, about 2 or 3 weeks.
I just wrote their schedule down just to show everybody just about how much time's left. So most teams got 13, 14 games left, and then it's going to be over. So we're getting down there now, and everything is pretty well. First of all, I want to tell everybody in New York to get off the bridge. You don't have to jump. I think both the Mets and the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. I'm sure the Yankees are going to make it. They got to play Minnesota and then St. Louis, and
but they were outside of it going into today. I was looking at it last night.
Well, no, they're not out of it. Not outside of it. Not when I saw this morning.
Okay, it might have changed. This was before the games yesterday.
Well,
I think I back. It was Friday. Me and a guy. My days are running together. I felt a lot of going on.
No, the Yankees since the All-Star break, until they broke out the other against Minnesota and the hapless Cardinals, we're hitting 216 since the All-Star break. The Mets, of course, if you watched any of their games, they just had a tough time. And
at first they won't hit, and now they're losing the games they were winning 6 weeks ago. 2 months ago, when they were on their roll, they're just losing those games now.
They.
And what did I tell you last week when I was watching them against Milwaukee? They were up 6-0. I go, how to go lose this game? And he lost in the ninth inning.
Yeah, well, they lost 11-6.
Yeah. So no, they lost 9-8 that game.
Okay, that was 9-8. They lost one game. They had to lead 5-0, or someone lost 11-6.
Yeah, they've had a lot. They did that with the Braves this week.
See, if you were a Nationals fan like me, that'd be normal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am used to it. That's the thing is this time every year, they don't know how to close a season out.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not. Maybe we'll get some comments on this because I might be wrong. I could have looked it up.
By the way, about speaking of comments, Mike, my buddy Mike, let us know that there's no more trades.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. That's Anyway, I think it's the year 2000. I might be wrong. It was 99, but 2000. But I'm pretty sure it was 2000. The last 19 games of the year, the Yankees went 3-16. 3 wins and 16 losses or something like that. Got in the playoffs and won the World Series. So if you can get in, you can get hot and win it all.
Right.
Ask the Texas Rangers. So that can happen. So you guys in New York, everybody just calm down. Let's play the games and see what's going to happen. Just get off the top of the building and the bridges. You don't have to jump yet. The Tigers, they did lose outfielder Matt Vierling. He has an oblique injury. He's on the IL. As I said, the Yankees had the second worst batting average since the All-Star game, and then they broke out of it against Minnesota and St. Louis. They did lose one of the games against Minnesota, 1 out of 3. They won the first 2 against St. Louis, but Max Fried pitched again yesterday and gave up 7 runs. He's got an earned run average of over 7, and he's supposed to be their ace.
Right.
He's earned run average over 6, and he gave up 7 runs yesterday. Justin Verlander had 35 strikeouts. He's 3,500 strikeouts. So he's in that group. Of course, nobody's going to catch Nolan Ryan. He's got over 4,000.
Yeah, he might retire because that was the number. And Kershaw and Scherzer and all these guys are chasing.
Well, Kershaw last night pitched like he was 10 years ago, and they beat San Diego.
Vitamin B shots, man.
Yeah. The Milwaukee Brewers have won 14 games in a row. They're the only team to have have 10-plus winning streaks, 2 of them in a year. The last was the 1978 Pirates.
And the old man Yelich helped out a couple of games ago.
Well, in last night's game when they came back and won, Yelich didn't play. What's the other, Caruso or whatever his name is?
Well, Yelich don't really play anymore. I mean,
they had about 5 of their regulars out, and the kids came through for them. I mean, they played. I mean, it's amazing. And Shane McClanahan for Tampa, they've ruled him out. He's going to miss his 2nd consecutive year because he has a bad nerve in his arm, and they're going to have surgery on it, and then they'll evaluate and see if he'll ever pitch again. Josh Hader has been ruled out for the regular season. With his shoulder, there's a possibility he might come back for the postseason, but right now, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I didn't write it down, so I can't remember. He's closing for him, and he looks good, but they're not. Houston's kind of treading water a little bit. The O's, Zach Eflin has a lumbar problem, and Felix Bautista has his shoulder is worse than they thought it was, so both of them are out for the rest of the season. He called up 2 rookies. One of them didn't pitch that well, but the kid last night was awesome. He was unbelievable. If you get a chance, guys, look up the game. This is Sunday, so this was last night.
8-16.
Baltimore and Houston, and watch the play this kid made on the mound to turn a double play. It was amazing. So I told you Josh Hader was out for the regular season. Oh, and this is huge. Zach Wheeler of Philadelphia, has gone out with a blood clot and is up near his shoulder, and so he's on the IL. If it's not too bad, he might only miss a couple of weeks. But depending on how bad it is, and I know something about blood clots because I lost a sister-in-law who had knee replacement surgery, and the next day she had a blood clot, went from her heart to her brain and killed her. And then your stepmother almost died in 2015 when she had a blood clot that went from her leg to her lung, and she almost died. And that's so I know something about blood clots. There's nothing to play with. Brandon Young. Of the Orioles, that young kid I was talking about, Friday night pitched 7 2/3 perfect game, and the Urias, who they traded to Houston, was the one who broke it up. He got a base hit, and he pitched. The kid came out and they pitched a one hitter. He started the year 0-6, so maybe he's coming around.
Maybe it's just confidence. You got to have confidence in your pitches to throw the pitches.
Yeah,
and then maybe he's got that.
And Bryce Harper was giving more. He was giving some more advice to the commissioner. He said that there are so many players that get lost in the shuffle and stay in the minor leagues for 10, 12 years, and they don't make any money in the minor leagues. And then they come out and they got to get a job, and they're in their 30s and all. So he said the best thing to do would be to either allow them to go to college while they're in the minor leagues, let them have time to go to college, pay for it.
They do.
Or get rid of low and high A ball, the low and high A ball.
Yeah, they don't.
Get rid of it and just go from the rookie league in Florida and just go right up to.
Yeah, they've already talked about that because college is already fulfilling that need. And, I mean, for Harper, that's nice of him to say that, but these guys can go to college while they're playing ball. Nobody's telling them they're not. I don't know if he wants school at the ball fields for him. I don't know. But there's athletes that've gotten their degrees while playing sports. Online is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for Harper. For a guy that got his GED to finish high school early, to go to community college to play baseball until he got eligible to draft. That's pretty amazing to talk about. Sometimes Harper should be better off just keep his mouth shut. I didn't hear any of that, but if that's the case, then he's more than welcome to donate some money to the minor leaguers out of his funds. He's probably making more than the whole minor league system by himself. So
yeah, he got a $300 million contract.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to stomach that. I always have problems listening to people that have a lot of money because they have a skill set that not many other people have, so they make a shit ton more money. Excuse my language, but that makes me a little ticked off. That when they start talking, because they don't want to give up theirs, but they want to talk about somebody else doing something for other people. So, I'll let that lay where it's at. It's not that he's a Philly or I like Harper on the field. I like a lot of things that he does. But when he does that, flipped off the commissioner, cussed him, and told him to get out. The having a ceiling and a basement helps all the players, not just a handful. Right now, only a handful get to reap the benefits. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, here's the other thing. Aaron Judge last night homered against the St. Louis Cardinals in their win in St. Louis. So that means he has now hit a home run off of every team in the major leagues. So he's just amazing. Oh, and right now, Shohei Ohtani should not get the most valuable player in the National League.
I don't think he will, but that's just me.
I think it should be Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah. I talked about that before, and I was going to bring this up last week, but me and some of my friends don't know, because he's a DH, is he Hall worthy, right? David Ortiz is only Edgar Martinez, is he in that?
Edgar Martinez, one of the most valuable players.
Okay, but is he in Hall of Fame? Like
Yeah.
Cal
Is he in the
Schwarber?
Hall of
Yeah,
Fame? Yeah,
I
he got
think
in the Hall of
yeah, I
Fame.
think he is. I know David Ortiz. I get confused on everybody that because baseball is so hard to get in. You think somebody's in or not, and it's somebody that you don't know if they're in or not. They are, but and I like it like that. I do like it. Like I want it. It shouldn't be easy to get in, like the football Hall of Fame. Uh, but Cal Schwarber, I think this year, if you want to see what one player has done for his team, he has carried the Phillies in the second half. He has he did what Harper did. He's done what Ryan Howard did in the past. He's the guy right now in Philadelphia, and he's putting on a show. And I know I've seen in person him hit. I think that's the first time I've ever seen him in person. He hit a ball, and he's not a tall fella. He's a short, squatty guy, comparatively speaking to me. I'm a tall, squatty guy. He hit a ball. That ball he smoked in Chicago. He hit it off the refreshment stand on the other up on the top of the walkway area up there, and it was a line drive, and it was just smoked.
Yeah, that ball that Stanton hit in Washington up above the left field stands. That's one of the hardest home runs I've ever seen.
Well, he hit that. Well, Markakis has hit the hardest one I've ever seen in person. He tried to hit it through the stands there in Washington. But
well, I saw one when I was a kid in the old Parker Field, and you remember where the scoreboard was out there in right field, with it way up tall. Joe Altobelli played for the Montreal Alouettes, or whatever they were called back then. I think they were the Alouettes, just like the football team, the Canadian football team. And they were playing in the AAA, and they were playing the Richmond Virginians. And my mom took me to the game, and we were sitting there watching the game. And Altobelli was left-handed batter for Montreal.
I know that. Yeah.
And he hit the ball over that scoreboard, cleared the scoreboard, went out in the parking lot. And then I saw Dale Murphy hit one to left field, and I think hit the motel out there across the park.
Murphy hit one. Now this is through a little kid's eyes, a little child, little baby Scott's eyes. He hit the ball over the Marlboro Man, and you can see it bounce in the middle of the parking lot out there.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about that when he got autographed a helmet for me. He goes, "We're dating both ourselves by talking about Parker Field now," because I told him it was a shame he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's a crime.
Yeah, and so, but that's a lot of people don't know he didn't play outfield in the minor. He was a catcher.
He was a catcher.
Came up as a catcher.
The outfield, and he throw the ball to second base.
Yeah, and he didn't have much time to practice in the outfield. They kind of just threw him out there, and he won Gold Gloves and MVPs and All-Star games and all that stuff. So.
Well, the Atlanta center fielder now, Harris, he is on fire, defensively and offensively, and he's just crushing the ball since the All-Star game. He hit a ball last night 420 feet. Now, what I have now is the standings. In the American League East, Toronto is leading Boston by 5, New York by 6.5. Detroit is up. Remember last week it was only 5. Now it's 8.5 over Cleveland because Cleveland's lost some games. And Houston is up by a game and a half over Seattle. Seattle lost 2 out of 3 to Baltimore in Baltimore. And they lost yesterday, they lost yesterday. Who were they playing? The Mets. In those 3 games, they scored 4 runs total. They're doing, even with the power hitters they got, they can't score. It's what they do. That's what they do. But anyway, so they've dropped to 1.5 behind Houston. And Houston practically on life support. In the National League, the Phillies are up 5 on the Mets. Milwaukee's up 9 on the Cubs, and the Dodgers, who were 1 game behind San Diego going into Friday night, are now 1 game ahead because they've won 2 in a row against San Diego in LA. Now they each play. They play again today, and then they play on somebody else. San Diego goes home. Dodgers go on the road, and Dodgers next weekend play in San Diego for 3 games. So that'll pretty much decide or come close to.
The whole country should be watching. Those 3 games should be nationally televised.
And it's
because that's the only meaningful. I mean, us Houston,
something catastrophic is going to happen for these second place teams to catch. When you're 5 games back and only got 13 to play, 14 to play.
Yeah, the season's over.
It's now I've seen it. I've seen teams collapse completely, but you just don't. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, see here we talk about the wild card. Boston. Let's see. Boston is winning in the Seattle and. How did I do this? Let's see. Boston and Seattle are tied for the top of the wild card in the American League, and then Yankees are half a game behind those 2. Cleveland is 2.5 behind the Yankees, but Cleveland is not doing very well. Kansas City is 4 back, so that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure the Yankees are going to get in. In the National League, the Cubs are up by half a game on San Diego, and San Diego and the Mets are 4 games behind those 2, and Cincinnati's 1.5 behind the Mets. So Cincinnati's the big threat to the Mets. So that's why I'm thinking the Yankees and the Mets are going to get in. I don't see Cleveland catching. I don't see Cleveland catching the Yankees unless the Yankees just completely collapse. And I don't see Cincinnati catching the Mets. Now, I did say that when we started, the 2 teams I'm really rooting for now, Major League Baseball and television, they don't want these 2 teams in the World Series. But I want them in there because it's something different. And these teams, one of them deserves it, and that's Milwaukee. Milwaukee has won 14 games in a row. 14.
And Milwaukee's a good stadium. It just, television, it doesn't translate.
And they've got great fans.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's another stadium that doesn't televise.
It's considered small market,
right?
But
it is small market.
Milwaukee is the team in the National League that I'm rooting for to make it to the World Series, and in the American League, it's the Chargers. I'm rooting for Seattle to finally get.
That's no secret. I could have said that at the beginning.
Seattle's the only team in the major leagues that is playing now that has not been to a World Series. The only team. Now, if you go back to the Boston Braves and the St. Louis Browns, they didn't make it to the World Series, I don't think. But then the Browns moved to Baltimore and Boston moved to Milwaukee, and they've been to the World Series. So that's I'm just rooting for these 2 teams. I mean, it's just Milwaukee is amazing.
The Mariners were the Senators.
Yeah, they were the Washington Senators. Yeah. And it's amazing that what Milwaukee's doing, and I'm just hoping they get rewarded for it. Now the problem is they win that Central Division every year, and then when they get in the playoffs, they lose to somebody. Last year was the best. Pete Alonso hit that home run to beat.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping this year that they make it to the World Series and they play Seattle, because Seattle has one of my favorite players now, the catcher.
Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. Now, Suarez hit a home run last night for Cincinnati. That was about it for their scoring. And the problem with him in the trade, because he had the same problem with Arizona, and that is he'll hit a home run once every 2 or 3 games, but he'll strike out 9 times.
Right.
He strikes out a lot. I call it the Joey Gallo syndrome. And he strikes out a lot. But those are the 2 teams I'm really pulling for. I mean, it doesn't matter to me who gets to the World Series. I'd kind of like to see somebody different from the Yankees and the Dodgers this year. But, I mean, who knows? Detroit might make it. But I just got a feeling. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that all the bats wake up in Seattle, because if they do, they're going to be tough out. They're going to be tough to beat with their pitching. Uh, they're going to be very tough to beat. They have the number one. I think they have the number one earned run average in Major League Baseball. They just don't score a lot of runs, and that's what's hurt.
So I was looking real quick. I just wanted to. So the last game, I believe, is on September 29th, which would make it 5 weeks left of the season. So it's about 20 games, I would say. Okay. Four games a week, average. Because I know down the end they don't play. They have more days off. They give them more days off.
Well, I mean, maybe I didn't get the full schedule when I looked at Detroit. I might have missed out on.
Well, it sounded like that's about what you said. A lot of games, and some of those might have been 4 games, staying, stuff like that. Because I know they want to. At the end, they want a lot of divisional games.
Yeah, I think the only 2 divisions that aren't sold up are the 2 West divisions: Houston and Seattle, and the Dodgers and San Diego.
Yeah. I kind of want Detroit to hang on, just to have Detroit in, and Milwaukee. Of course, I'd love to see the Mets. It would be funny if the San Diego somehow knocks the Dodgers out, and the Dodgers are not in, the Yankees are not in, Boston's not in. That would be all right with me.
Well, I mean, you pick Boston, come out of the American League.
Right.
You're not alone, because 2 or 3 of the people on MLB pick Boston to come out of the American League. But it looks like Toronto's going to win that division.
Which is not surprising. I mean, that division is so – it wouldn't surprise me if Baltimore won it. That division's so tough.
Yeah. And now Baltimore's playing good ball.
Right. But, I mean, it's not shocking that Baltimore didn't play well this year. It's not – that division, it just is that little bit difference is all it takes. You just play bad ball at a certain time, and you're done, because that you got to win 100 games in that division. So it's a tough division. You have to win a lot more than you lose. That's for sure. There's some other divisions the same way. I don't know if Philly's going to win 100. They're going to be in the high 90s, I'm sure. The rest of the
because a few weeks ago when we picked one, we both said we didn't think the Dodgers were going to win it. I think we both picked Philadelphia to come out of the National League. But I tell you, if San Diego plays up to their potential with their bullpen now, that'll be outstanding.
Yeah, well, I think the Phillies picking up that closer just strengthened their bullpen.
Yeah, and he took a line drive off his foot the other night and had to go out of the game. But I don't think it was serious. But losing Zach Wheeler's serious.
Yes, that's your 3-headed hydra there. That for your pitching staff, you already had issues with having to let the guy selling cotton candy pitch the 5th game for you the last few playoff seasons. That makes absolutely no sense to me. You got 5 pitchers throughout the whole regular season, and then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs and you're scared to pitch.
You got to build bullpen games.
Yeah, you got a bullpen game, and it's ridiculous. Play baseball, man, or go back to the olden days. You have 2 days off. Let the other guys pitch on 4 days. I don't know what the answer is. I know they play more games in the playoffs, so it's tougher now with that extra round and extra games.
Yeah, but when I was coming along and coming up, they only had 4 starters, and they had 3 days rest, and they pitched complete games.
Oh well, they had more travel time too,
and that's why I've said, maintained for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, the bullpen is the most important part of your team.
Yeah, well, those guys then, when you're watching,
cannot win. You cannot win.
They almost had 5 days between games because they would play 3, have a full travel day, so they would have 4 days at least. It depends on how it fell. So,
But they have 4 starters, and that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, I got teams that are talking about 6 starters, and I'm just like, you have to have, you can't have about rules. You can't have with so many pitchers on your team. I mean, they added 2 more players on the roster. So I mean, Jesus, pretty sure it's gonna be like hockey where you got a 30-man roster. You could dress out 26, and 4 guys would be sitting up in the stands watching the game because they couldn't dress out. It's gonna be crazy. But you got to do something to save pitchers. It's the game that they're playing.
Well, because everybody's trying to throw 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, and
I mean, they have a child in the Little League World Series pitches for China, for Taiwan, and he throws the ball the equivalent of 104 in the major leagues. Throws it about 80 miles an hour, fastest they've seen. I mean, he's 12, so he'll probably have Tommy John by the time he's 14. I mean, they put so much strain. And to watch these kids throwing breaking pitches, 11 and 12-year-olds throwing curveballs, sliders, change-ups, throwing everything. It's amazing. I mean, they get people out, but you're asking for kids to mess up their arms. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Well, we're going to probably end it there. Sorry about my early on tirade, but I hate rich people. Just their thought process on the regular world just eats me up sometimes.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees back, they were having a tough time. They were losing some games and all that. So Yogi was asked what was wrong, and he said, "I wish I had an answer to that because I'm tired of answering that question." And as soon as he said that, one of the reporters said, "Yogi, you just did it again."
Well, we're going to leave you on that. Thank y'all for watching. Watch the games. Heating up. We're getting into the football season. Me and my dad probably have our Super Bowl picks here in a couple of weeks. College football, I think, starts next weekend.
It starts the 23rd.
23rd, okay, and which will probably be the Thursday night games. So until next week, we will see ya.